just how brutal and tough it was in their semifinal game. And for Clemson, they eliminated a key contributor just as Ohio State. Back to Moss after Skalski's object.
Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy Trip. Sorry about that. This is your boy AJ Trip, and this is the rapid reaction to the national championship game between LSU and Clemson. And boy, oh boy, how about that? LSU wins in dominating fashion, you can say. Even though Clemson had a lead to begin with, this is almost like the Houston Kansas City Chiefs game, where Houston had a lead, but then Kansas City came roaring back, and it was like this: LSU came roaring back after they were down, I think, about 10 points. You have to forgive me if I don't know a lot about the first quarter, first quarter, second quarter, because I was watching Monday Night Raw, of course. But yeah, it was switching over there doing commercials, and you could see some things. Clemson had a lead, and it was about 10 points. That's when I caught it. It was like 17-7, but LSU came back and they got a lead for halftime, and then they came out at halftime, guns a blazing, and they just finished off Clemson. Clemson, they were just too much. This LSU team, and with Joe Burrow and the offense and everything like that, they were just too much for not only Clemson but for everybody this year. Just everybody. They pretty much just ran through this season, and you have to give them credit for that. Believe me, I don't think nobody at the beginning of the year had any doubts about LSU or not just not any doubts, but we didn't have any idea about LSU and Joe Burrow or anything like that. So the fact that they came out and they were so dominant as they were, and I think we all took notice that Saturday night in Texas when they were facing the Longhorns, and I think that's when we knew this team can do something, right? Because that night in Texas was a special night, because there was some thoughts about even Texas. Some people thought that maybe Texas would do kind of what LSU maybe would do. They would be a surprise playoff team. That didn't go down for Texas, but LSU came out of nowhere, and it was just pretty much from that day on. I think nobody had any doubt about how good Texas was. We did say we wanted to see them face Alabama because we knew how good Alabama was, but when they got past Alabama, it was like if they can get past the SEC championship game, it's gonna be a wild ride, and that's it. They're gonna get past Georgia. They made it into the playoff, obviously, and then they just destroyed Oklahoma. Ran them out of the stadium, and then you wanted to be able to do that to Clemson. Clemson put up some type of fight, obviously, but still, again, you can say they ran Clemson out of the Sugar Bowl. So it's just fantastic, and there's like so many people, that are like so happy for this LSU team. I think because one, they love Coach O. Coach O, he's a lovable character. He's got that real Southern New Orleans voice, and you can hardly understand him. And or whatever he says. I watched Dominic Foxworth earlier on Highly Questionable. He was on a good Coach O. But I think, this was about having Coach being there for Coach O, and and Chris Fowler kind of said it at the end there. When he took over for USC, I believe, was it Lane Kiffin, or it was somebody. He took over for Steve Sarkisian. He took over for somebody in USC, and he was 6-2, and the USC didn't even give him the thought about even think about giving him the job. and there was a lot of people thought that was so wrong, and I think he was very down about that too. But all things work, well, not all things, but some things work in certain ways, and he didn't get the job at USC, so he was open to get the job at LSU, and boy, he's done a darn good job. Now he had that quarterback, the Heisman Trophy winner, Joe Burrow, but he's done some work. He really has. So, and there's a lot of talent on that LSU team, offensively and defensively. So, Jordan Jefferson he's a bad man, you know. Thad Moss, Randy Moss's son, he's a really good guy as well. And then they got that defensive back. His name escapes me at the moment, but he's going to come back next year, and he's going to not only play defense, he's going to play offense too. So he's going to try to do the Charles Woodson next year and win the Heisman Trophy, on as a primary defensive back. So this was a really good night for LSU. I was not rooting for anything. I just kind of wanted a kind of an interesting game, and even though it was kind of a blowout, it still was pretty interesting. And I didn't now with the difference between Monday Night Raw and the fact that it's been raining down here, and so the Direct TV is all crazy. It's Direct TV is off now, actually. So it's going crazy. Okay, so maybe now it's okay. So it's not off, but it's just whatever it is. Because it's flying back right now. So I guess let's see. Yeah. Because usually what I like to do is I like to let you hear some of the post game stuff or something like that. When it comes to like this national championship game, the Super Bowl, I like to do that. But I don't think that's going to happen tonight because it's just the rain is just messing with the Direct TV. So, but yeah. So this is just kind of a quick. Just a quick reaction to it. Thought it was interesting. Glad for Joe Burrow. Glad for LSU. Clemson, hell of a run. Tremendous, as was that Don Zimmer would say. So just really really good thing. So I have no idea what Trevor Lawrence coming back. Clemson will. All right. Good night. Clemson will.
The college football playoff, Mr. Bill Hancock. Thank you, Reese. First, I want to congratulate both of these great football teams for their performance tonight and all during the regular season. And now, on behalf of the conferences and schools who manage the college football playoff, it's my honor to present the national championship trophy to Coach Ed Orgeron and the LSU Tigers. You almost immediately handed that trophy to the players. Everything about your program has been about the players. But I can see the pride in your eyes and tears in your eyes. What's this like in this state that you care so much about to bring a championship? We love the state of Louisiana. I love this team. One team, one heartbeat, this coach and staff. Everybody that planted the purple and gold in the great state of Louisiana. This is for everybody. One team, one heartbeat, baby. At what point did you envision this being the goal, the ability of this team to win a championship? I saw this team work for a year. We started working last January 17th. And at one point in the spring, when I saw offense complete 80% of their passes without breaking success, I felt that we could have a great team. But when we made that third down to 17 against Texas, I felt like we had the players to win a championship. You said it was your goal to be the head coach.
See, I talked about that, right? Game against Texas.
The national champion. What is that like? Again, give credit to the players. I'm at the right place at the right time. Steve Ensminger, Dave Moranza, a dynamic hilarious offensive line that we have behind us. Rashard Lawrence, give them all the credit. And congratulations, my friend. Well done. Maybe the greatest season that any team has had. Let's bring in Joe Burrow, the offensive player of the game, obviously. There hasn't been a quarterback in the history of this sport to have a season like you just completed. I heard you say your goal is never going to be a pro quarterback. It was to be a national champion quarterback. So how does that dream match up with what you're experiencing right now? That's pretty good. Awesome. Years of hard work culminating into one moment with the best group of guys anybody could ask for. We worked so hard for this. So many people put so much work into this, from athletic trainers, equipment staff, players, coaches, chefs, dining room assistants. You know, it's not just me or Coach O or the line. It's everybody inside that building that gets pieces. Within the game tonight, when you guys go down double figures, what changed?
I mean, there was no rah-rah speech on the sideline. There was no, hey, we got to get going. We knew what we had to do. We have a bunch of mature guys that understand the moment. We just had to go out and start executing better, and that's exactly what we did. They had a great plan coming in. Once we figured it out, we started to roll, though.
When you look back on this season and you've done everything it's possible to do from a team standpoint, from an individual standpoint, what do you think this season, these 2 years at LSU, will mean to you?
It's going to mean the world. This is what I wanted to do from the time I was 5 years old, was hoist this trophy. And bringing it back to Louisiana, I guess we're in Louisiana, but staying in Louisiana, we weren't going to let someone come in here and steal this from us in our home state. We have a great fan base that came out and supported us. We're going to keep this thing right here.
Joe, congratulations, man. Unbelievable season. Wish all the best. Congratulations. The defensive player of the game, the guy who wreaked a lot of havoc for LSU tonight, is Patrick Queen. Patrick, what you guys sort of figured out what Clemson was doing? What did you sense change from your defense against them?
We just locked in, we've been down the whole season, we just wanted to come out and prove a statement to everybody that we're going to play with.
Wait, no, you're definitely not anything to play with. When you look at what this team's accomplished, you beat all these teams that were ranked highly in the preseason. No team's ever beaten as many top 5, top 10 teams that you guys have. How do you put this season into perspective, what you just accomplished?
This is a season I'll never forget, man. We came in the season, we already knew we were capable of. But Joe told us what we were going to do, and, he stood by the word, and we got this championship.
What does it mean to you to win it here in New Orleans?
It means the world, man, to win our state that we love, and thank you for all the support.
Patrick, congratulations. A tremendous performance by that LSU defense tonight. Chris, I tell you, the accomplishments from LSU this year, it's hard to find a team in recent memory that has matched the accomplishments these guys have, and they are the national champions.
Race, thank you. Son Steve Ensminger, defensive coordinator, and his son Steve. A moment of triumph for that family in a time of tragedy. And a smile from Steve Jr. Those haven't been too plentiful in recent days. What a night for the great state of Louisiana. As Orgeron and Burrow said, the mayor of LSU chant, echo against the Super Bowl in the party with a stop to the French Quarter and go until the sun comes up. And then some schools out today and tomorrow at LSU. We're going to take the rest of the week off. No doubt. Burrow said it. Clemson had a really good plan. They scored first. This is a touchdown run from Trevor Lawrence. Changed what he did to the Buckeyes. Then Jamar Chase with his deep ball curve. This one play really ignited the Tigers' offense.
Yeah, and Clemson came out looking like an experienced champion. Gilbert just said to Reese, they kind of settled in, figured out that 3 down line, 1 linebacker, 7 defensive backs. And once they were able to calibrate that offense, they were tough to stop. But Clemson would go away. The Tigers were showing the heart that we talked about, much like they did against Ohio State. Had a lead there in the first half.
He did think it's that touchdown to Burrow with his legs, showing his entire skill set tonight. Finding the end zone. And then Chase, it was just a stud. The Biletnikoff, they couldn't guard him all night.
No, he had a heck of a night. Obviously, 9 receptions, 221, and 2 touchdowns. When Burrow found him one-on-one, that's who he typically looked up here. The blitz took a big shot from James Skalski, but he throws to one of his best friends on the team, Thaddeus Moss, for a touchdown.
Here comes Clemson. They needed to get back into the game in the second half. Their defense got a 3-and-out. Offense put points on the board. Looks like they're coming back. But there's another one-on-one matchup that Joe Burrow just cannot help himself. He's got to take.
Skelton would get kicked out of the game for a targeting call, deflating blow to that defense. And Trevor Lawrence, as we said, after halftime, just could not get it going. The onslaught continued. Burrow, Moss again, one of his best buddies on the team. His dad, Randy, looking on tonight, just able to break the plane before stepping out of bounds. And Joe knew that one was it. 10.5 size ring, already been fitted. You don't get that soon enough. Lawrence loses for the first time as a college starter. Consoled by Dabo Swinney, and no doubt it's back to try to hunt another championship next year.
We've talked so much about LSU, deservingly so, but that shot right there, that'll be a lasting image for me in the offseason. This Clemson team that dealt with a lot of unrealistic expectations, oftentimes not living up to what they did last year against Bama. People, as far as the outside world, they're going to have plenty coming back and plenty of motivation to come out next year.
Another trophy for Burrow. Of course, won the Heisman and 5 other major awards, but that championship trophy is the one that he says he's always dreamt of, and it's no doubt the most precious. 42-25 in the Superdome. LSU, undefeated national champions. Boy, we enjoyed bringing these games to you all season long. A massive thanks to all of our production team. Bill Bonnell produced it. Eric Mobley directed it. We thank Bill Lamonier and Dave Kataya for helping us out with the rules all season long. Darren Brown, Mike Black, Mark Amento, Gary and John up here in the booth, and every single person on this team. Much like Joe Burrow, this is a massive production for us too, Kirk. We thank each and every person. So for Tom, Maria, for Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Chris Fowler saying so long for now from New Orleans. We'll have post-game coverage on SportsCenter. LSU, national champions, 15-0, a season like we have rarely ever seen in this sport. The Ford Post.
Yep, it's like we've never seen. This has been incredible. Now, I also understand that there are more games because of the playoffs, and they've actually they keep the stats, going. But the season Joe Burrow had passing wise, unbelievable. The 59, maybe even 60 now, 60 touchdowns that he had this year, and the passing yards was just incredible. So it's absolutely incredible for Joe Burrow. But I think before the the TV came back on, DirecTV came back on, I was talking about Clemson and what's going to happen for them next year with Trevor Lawrence possibly coming back. I think he will come back. I don't think there's any way Trevor Lawrence will sit out next year. I think he will come back, especially now after losing. He will definitely, without question, come back. And Clemson's going to be there. Alabama, they're going to get back into this. I don't think I think Ohio State will be back, doing their thing. You counted them out this year maybe, but no, they were in the playoffs. I think we'll see about LSU, and like I talked about, the defensive back who's going to play both ways next year. We'll see what happens with them. Georgia's still a good team. Oklahoma. What they can do. They can come out of nowhere. There are many teams that will be celebrating for a national championship. We will be fighting for a national championship as they're kind of all crazy and everything like that. Down on Bourbon Street, just showing on Bourbon Street on ESPN. Well, yeah, it's going to be like you said, it's going to be interesting off season. We'll see who enters the transfer portal and who leaves and who comes back, and who stays and who goes and all that stuff. So that's going to be interesting to see. Let's really quick hear what they got to say, and then I'll probably wrap this up.
Shots and then ultimately land the haymakers of the road.
31 of 49 for 463, 5 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown for Joe Burrow.
They really didn't believe
Wow.
Jackson could hang with them. I don't. They're surprised with the 17-point margin. I mean, Burrow, I think, probably had the kind of night he thought he would after a slow start. the defense answered some questions too. This was a complete comprehensive win by LSU. Wasn't a one-man show by any stretch.
Yeah, Sky, I think you got to give Venables credit. Came up with a scheme. He had 7 defensive backs, much like Auburn did early in the year, who at times gave LSU some challenges. But I think the field position inside their own 10 on a couple of those first couple possessions also maybe slowed them down a bit. But give them credit. Once they were able to figure it out, they got Burrow on the sideline. Brady and his finger talked to him. Once they got it going, they saw the one-on-one matchups, and they gave him protection. Once he had time to throw, it was game, set, match. There's no way Clemson can hold up against the talent that Burrow had at his disposal.
As a last very quick thought, this is an historic season for a team. We're not great in the moment of trying to frame things with an eye that's a long view on the past. But based on what we just saw Burrow do and the types of teams they beat, how do you frame it?
We haven't seen a better season. Clemson became the first 15-0 team a year ago. LSU matches that, did it against 4 SEC opponents that finished in the top 13. Absolutely demolishes the Big 12 champions, and then they dethroned Clemson here pretty emphatically. And I think we're going to remember this season by this team and by Joe Burrow, who is going to achieve immortality like very few players in the history of this sport. LSU, Heisman, undefeated season, championship in New Orleans. He will just walk across the bayou for the rest of his life.
I think what you have to add to that, Scott, is style. The style in which they did it. This was not a defensive-oriented team, one with defensive ball control, old school LSU. It was the style that they did it with. This is the most prolific offense I personally have ever watched, ever covered. 30 years of covering this sport, I've never seen anything like it between the system, the quarterbacks, the weapons around it, the efficiency of decision-making. To me, they just set the new bar in my own mind of evaluating college offenses.
Fellas, I like you both way too much to be objective. You guys are great at what you do, and I appreciate you. Well done tonight and all season long. Travel well wherever you're going. I look forward to crossing paths somewhere down the road soon, I hope.
Yeah, you guys got it. Appreciate it.
Okay, that was the final thoughts from Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler, and I'll give you my final thoughts. I thought this was one heck of a season for the 150th season, as the NFL is doing their 100 years, college football doing their 150 years. I thought this was a really good 150th year for the college football season. So, and it ends with LSU winning the national championship. So, yeah, there's some very good stuff this year. My playoff predictions were totally off. You know, I had Clemson. I think I had Oregon. I had Alabama. I think I had Oklahoma and I had Clemson. So I had 2 out of 4. And that just didn't, it just went all down here for me. But yeah, good season, good game, so to speak, for what it was. And good for LSU. So, all right, y'all. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know down in the comment section. And make sure that you are signed. You are going to be listening tomorrow on my podcast. I'm going to go over it a little bit more tomorrow morning, give you some more thoughts about what's about what happened. So make sure you check out my podcast tomorrow. Also, we'll be talking about the college football weekend. Not the college football, the pro football weekend, the divisional rounds, the stuff that went down this past weekend in the NFL. And how about these breaking Major League Baseball stuff? So we're going to talk about that tomorrow as well. So make sure you go over to Anchor FM and search AJ Drip so that you can find my podcast. It'll be out tomorrow. So make sure you are there. You can follow me on all my socials. I'm going to be putting it out there for you. So let you know about that. All right, y'all. That was going to be it for me tonight. This is your boy, AJ Trip, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.